Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody. Hey, Robert. How's it going?
it's going well.
Hey,
Good.
Melissa, I was up in your neck of the woods a few weeks ago.
oh, really?
Yeah, I was in Camp Alexander next to Pikes Peak National Forest.
Nice.
So whole week of scout camp, and I froze my butt off.
Oh, I want to go freeze my butt off.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was at like 8,300. Yeah, lows in the low 40s, highs in the low 70s.
Well,
Wow.
we live at 8,000 feet and it's still 100 degrees. Sad.
Yeah. Yeah, those mountains are a little different than the ones up the road.
And where were you?
It's Camp Alexander is a Boy Scout camp.
In
So we did-
Denver?
No,
Outside of Denver?
outside of Colorado Springs.
South or north?
It's kind of south central. You know, it's just
Well, you were
right.
lucky. It's been hot up there too. Actually, you've had tons of rain, right? Melissa, you guys have had lots of rain. I heard that it was like crazy rain in Colorado
That is-
this year.
Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago, and it was yeah, they found out that I'm double lifeguard certified, like American Red Cross and VSA. I'm like, oh, please come to the waterfront. So
Yeah.
I just hung out in a rescue kayak the whole week, bailing
good.
out scouts or making sure when they were playing victim for water rescues and stuff, they were safe.
Well, that's fun. Steve Taylor's used to be the chief of our volunteer fire department and does all those certifications for swift water rescue and all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, I do any more certification. It's like professional level stuff. I'm like, I'm good with my two.
You're not going to run into a burning building. I'm not either.
I'm okay. I'm kind of keep them alive for an hour until EMS shows up kind of guy. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might do the wildlife first aid, or wilderness first aid rather, not wildlife.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking about doing that because I have my wildland firefighting certifications as well. So I was thinking about doing the wildland first aid. But that one's interesting because it deals with like cut off limbs from chainsaws, things like that.
Oh yeah,
Hell.
yeah. There's a point where the certifications where it's a little traumatic because I was doing lost LBDs, lost bather drills, and it is very much a recovery drill. That's not a rescue drill, that's a recovery drill. And it was like, dude, that is just I better not have to use that. So it was actually a good thing because while I was on the shore or in the boat or on the dock, had me really paying attention to horseplay and running and those things that lead to those lost bather drills. So canoes colliding, bumper canoes, stopping that stuff, which is
That's
bunch
what you're
of
there for. That's
bunch
what
of
dads
12
are there for.
yeah, well, it's a bunch of 12-year-olds getting them to do it, is always, so you don't just tell them what not to do, you tell them what to do and why. That I found that I get higher chance of success. Instead of saying, walk, don't run, it's like, hey, if you run, you're going to slip and fall and you're going to get stitches. So I'm calling you Stitches from now on to help you remember.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice little diversion from technical stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's really kind of the business we're in, changing behavior for the benefit of the whole.
True.
And how people don't want to change, especially developers.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that, you got a juicy enough carrot, they'll pay attention.
Very true.
Right, everyone, shall we get started?
Yep.
Yeah. I see, Andrew, you joined us today, so I assume that's for the presentation on Emporus. Am I assuming right?
I don't have a presentation prepared, but I'm here to discuss them for us.
That is
Okay.
correct. Yes.
That's great. All right. So welcome everyone to the TOC meeting. Today is July the 18th. My name is Andrea Frittoli. I work for IBM and represent tech-intensive events. And if you haven't done so yet, please sign in. Just share the notes. And yeah, the meeting is being recorded, I hope. Does it say? Yeah.
I think it is. When I joined in, it said it was,
Yeah.
it was prompting me,
Perfect.
letting me know that it was recorded.
Thanks. Okay, so I wanted to start today with welcome for our new TOC members. So Alan is not here today, but Alan Dong from Yahoo's joined us as Screwdriver project representative, and Mark Waite, is that right pronunciation? Yeah, Mark Waite from CloudBees joins us to represent Jenkins. So welcome. Mark, we've seen you around already for some time, so we know you. But I don't know if you wanted to say a couple of words to introduce yourself. Otherwise, it's fine. No, that's all right. And welcome back to myself and Steve. That we've been re-elected, so Lucy Ortiz is around for some more. Okay, just quickly then some updates on the action items from last time. So we discussed about the IP policy. So I put here a link to the issue, and Fatih and Michelle went and checked. And the new way for a lot of the things is to basically delegate to the project. So for every project is responsible for deciding whether they want to adopt DCO or CLA, what kind of licenses they want to use, and so forth. The list of permitted licenses is basically DOCI permitted licenses. Right, so in terms of trademark and service marks, we don't really have any policy. There are kind of two options. One is to react to any attempt to use some similar mark that similar to one of our project for similar goods and services. So we could react to that, or we could preemptively register the marks in the US and maybe elsewhere. But the second option, of course, would need to be discussed by the governing board and added to the budget if we wanted to go that way. So what we could do for now, I created or updated the existing issue. So I will propose something on the TOC repo to document regarding the DCO, CLA, permitted licenses, and so forth. And yeah, so for the trademark and service mark, I was planning on just writing something like to reach out to the TOC if there is any issue.
So are you gonna put that into the TOC governance doc, or like the project onboarding one?
Yeah, some project and maybe onboarding, that's a good one. Yeah, project guidance or onboarding, maybe it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's under, yeah, I can't remember if it's there. Yeah, right there, that one. So I think if we put what you just were covering in this one, I think that would be a good place. Perfect.
Okay. Any more questions, comments on this?
So Andrea, I would think we would want to put a proposal to the board that trademarks and or service marks should be registered. I was just recently reminded of that when the Apache Software Foundation notified us that we were stepping on their trademark with some of the names of the plugins we were writing had created for Apache Maven. And it's a reminder that,
Okay.
oh, there are all sorts of ways we could wander afoul of trademark and service mark regulations, and getting our trademarks registered for projects seems like a worthwhile expense. The Jenkins trademark is registered, but other projects, if they haven't registered, it's probably to their benefit as part of CDF to get them registered, at least investigate how expensive it would be.
Yeah, Tracy, do you remember? Oh, she just stepped away.
No, I'm here.
Do you remember how much it cost us to register some of our marks? It was like 10 grand.
I don't, I really haven't, it's been such a long time, but it's probably gonna be in that ballpark. And I
Yeah.
don't
Okay, so
know,
it's very expensive then. I didn't realize it was that expensive. Okay.
but if let's step back though. I don't know if the Linux Foundation has staff attorneys who could file it for us.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the Linux Foundation would charge the CD Foundation to do that. So I think we might at least push it up over to the board and ask them to investigate it and consider it for future budgeting.
And then every, I can't remember, it's 5 years or 10 years, you have to do a renewal. And that
And
one's,
that's
one's-
simple.
that's like $1,000 to do a renewal.
Yeah, it's not, it's pretty simple.
But it's all, like Tracy is saying, it's all attorney's fees.
Thank you.
Do anyone disagree with this?
I think it's
Yeah.
a good plan to kick it up to the board and have them do some investigation from their side with the Linux Foundation, see if they can help us out with.
Sounds good. Anyone want to volunteer putting together a proposal for the HEB?
How about as a committee representative, let's put that one on me. I just got elected, and so why not give me something specific to do there that is at least worth a discussion in the board?
Thanks, Mark, and congratulations on your election to the HEB. All right, sounds good. Anything else on this? Okay, other action item we had from last time was the project communication metrics. So what I did on that, we have this issue, and I created a small table so that we can populate with the links, and I tagged all the different project representatives. And Mark was really fast and provided data already, and I put in for CD events and Tecton, and hopefully we can get this filled in, and then Roxanne very kindly will help us get this information on the website so that is accessible to everyone. And the last thing we discussed, we had an action item from last time, was the how to join CDF guide. I don't know, Melissa, if you had any update on this.
No new updates. I just returned from vacation, so playing catch up there, but that's something I'll be starting this week.
Great, thank you. And briefly, I wanted to bring up the next meetings, because August and there may be some holidays. Well, I will be on holidays for 2 of the next meetings. So I will be here for August the 1st. And then yeah, the 15th and the 29th of August, I will be on PTO. So I wanted to check what people plans are, if people plan to attend, if anyone wants to stand in for as chair for the meetings in August.
Hey, do we ever get a vice chair?
You didn't read far enough down
Yes.
in the meeting minutes.
Oh,
It's yeah, so we were waiting on the election because we
well,
yeah,
that
we had a
sounds
lot
like
of new members.
that's kind of dumb. Maybe we should have done that before you went on PTO, but okay. Like, how long have we been talking about this? Like,
Elections
Okay,
are slow.
oh my God. We're it's CDF. It's not the US. Okay. All right. I'm going on mute.
I mean, we could try and squeeze it before I leave. If everyone thinks should do that, I don't mind. I
Hey.
kind of agree that
Hey,
it's
welcome.
a small group.
Your first job. You're putting you in August. Look, that would be my preference. You know, I love forcing functions to change behavior and to get things done. So anyway, I'll
Yeah,
be quiet until we
so-
get to that.
So let me jump ahead to the deputy chair election. I would say that we open up nominations tomorrow, run them for a week and a half, and then just do a week of voting. See if we can get it closed out before August 1st.
And the other thing is that there's just us. So going through a proper nomination process seems like a little bit much.
Yeah, we
I
can
feel
even do it
like-
in 2 days or just
I feel like we could ask if anybody right now wants to run for that. How many people want to run for that deputy chair position?
Well, do we have a quorum today?
I'm just curious. Is there anybody here who wants to do it?
Sure.
I
I'll do it.
don't care if
Okay.
she wants to or not. I'm going to nominate Melissa.
Melissa raised her hand.
I
Okay,
already
do we have
signed.
All right. I'll
anybody else?
Well, Alan's not here and he's new from Screwdriver. He may want it. And same with Neil from Fidelity.
Yeah.
Do we have quorum? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We have enough people for quorum.
I'm going to nominate, I'd like to put forward a nomination for Melissa to be deputy chair then in lieu of
Hey,
voting.
No, I nominated already. You get to
Ah!
second.
Okay, I'll second. I will second.
There's one thing I'm doing in this meeting. One thing. Don't take it from me. My one bit of value. Micro value.
Now, is Melissa going on vacation again in August? Because that would just discount her automatically.
No, I'm done for the year, I think.
Just like I stated,
Okay.
just for the record, we didn't give the other two folks that aren't here, the folks that aren't here, a chance to throw their name in the hat as a.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We did nominations here. We should open it up, do an issue. We got to do this transparent. And I just noticed we're not recording this meeting.
It should be.
Yeah, it's recording. It's recording.
It
So
is?
now we have.
Oh,
moved-
yeah, I see it in the upper left. Okay, good. Yay, we did it.
So we have moved into the discussion phase then of this motion that's on the table. I just want to remind us all that we do have a motion that Robert put forward. Are
Thank
you
you.
going to, do you want to withdraw the motion, Robert?
I do not.
Okay, so in response to Steve's indicating that there's 2 people who did not show up for the meeting, who did not get to throw their name in the hat. I hate to sound cruel about it, but we have to continue moving forward even if people don't show up for meetings. This is just the natural progression of these committee meetings, if we hold back to make sure everybody is involved, we don't normally get a lot done.
Yeah,
So,
you turn to the US Senate.
yeah, and we're talking about a deputy chair position. Melissa has been around for quite some time. She knows how to pick things up. We should be looking at somebody who can step in easily. So,
And knows what's been going on.
and knows what's been going on, yes. So I'm going to push back Steve on saying we should be more fair. They should, you know, if you want to get involved, you got to show up for the meetings. I know it's hard, but that's just the way it is.
Yep, I
Chop
get it.
water, carry, chop wood, carry water, right?
Yes, exactly.
Participation points count.
They do.
I'm fine with that. So I just was bringing it up just so we address it.
It's, yep,
Yeah, I totally agree as well. I think that's what we have the quorum for, and so.
So
Yeah.
I say,
Exactly.
all right, gang. So what do y'all think about, okay, we've got a nomination, open it up, mailing list. Do we have any more nominations?
no,
We
let's
said-
not do that. It's too
Okay.
much for a deputy chair. It's that
And
is my,
it's only gonna go out to 2 more people that are not here.
All right, so do we want a motion to vote?
we just have to proceed with the vote since there's already a motion on the table to nominate her.
Basically, is there any more discussion? If not, then we can vote.
Anyone, is there any other comment? No? Okay, then let's vote. Anyone in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
And Melissa
Aye.
abstains from her own vote.
No, she doesn't. She's voting.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right.
And the motion
Congratulations,
carries.
Melissa.
Yes,
The motion carries.
I'm glad we could get that done. The voting thing is a lot of work for people to do for a deputy chair. So this is good.
We did it.
We did. I guess that being said, August 29th, Melissa, you will be running the meeting.
And the 15th.
And the 15th, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for stepping up, Melissa.
Of course.
Congrats.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah.
All right, so when's the next TOC mixer, Melissa?
Exactly.
I'll be in Spain.
Ooh.
I'll be available.
That's an
I'll
option.
I'll be in Portugal while you're in Spain. We should have probably done that.
We'll be on the
Spain
same
thing.
peninsula.
Yeah,
So
we were
close,
just like,
so
I'm
close.
like, I'm not working. I'm taking vacation. I don't want to go.
Great. All right, so we'll keep all the meetings as they are then. Please. Okay.
Can I add two quick things to the agenda
Yes.
before we get, okay. We have a working group for the LFX tools, which it has kind of dissolved in the first few meetings. I think there was a clear understanding that there's not a lot of us using LFX tools. So I would like to dissolve that working group unless somebody has a strong feeling that we should keep it. And just so everybody knows, Robert is sort of have stepped in with the Linux Foundation to really look at tooling. So we have somebody on the TOC that's kind of got their thumb on the heartbeat of that question within the Linux Foundation.
Yeah, if y'all want me to yell at Narav, happy to do so. Annoyances, whatever. Narav, CTO over at LF, he's overseeing LFX. Like any kind of, I'd like this, I want this. I've certainly put a bug in his ear about the gamification stuff. Big fan of that. And so, look, happy to be an advocate here, happy to talk to that team and say, let's go. I mean, I'm working closely with them on some other partner related things that they had. So at least twice a week, I'm talking with them. And so happy to elevate any concerns, asks that y'all have, build a coalition of the willing to get those things done.
I want to be involved, Robert, at least in the sense of if they're going to decommission the thing, I need to know about it because it's a key part of metrics that I gather.
Well, okay, fair enough. And I would assume that if they're going to decommission something, they're going to put announcements on the app. I would assume if that doesn't happen, let me know, because that's bad. That's just bad software. It's just like,
Yeah, what I suspect is going to happen is that it's just going to run as it is, and they're not going to put a lot of new features in it. And Robert, that would be great if you could get some insights on that.
Say that one more time.
That there won't be a lot of money put into putting new features, but they won't decommission it.
My understanding is that they're investing a lot into LFX right now.
Is there another working group that we could join that's involved in the requirements gathering for that?
I don't know about really, doubtful. I don't have any insight into how they're doing this, how they're picking and choosing. I know that they're partnered up with a bunch of folks, and this is a top priority for Jim. Jim wants a lot of stuff to go through this, and even to the point where it's called a customer data platform, CDP, that they're building, where they are going to drive a bunch of insight gathering from this stuff. I know that's where a core area of investment is. But let me ask Narav and find out. Let me say like, hey, I got a bunch of people over CDF that really want to help improve this. And I've never met a product leader that doesn't want to work with customers.
Yeah,
so let me
that
find
would
out.
be that would be more helpful. I think it would be very helpful.
Yeah.
So let's hold on. Let's hold on for now, and maybe we could make that the place, kind of it's an LFX user group, right?
Yeah, I'm messaging right now. Thank you. On it.
And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up is we do have the Linux Foundation, I guess they call it now a member summit. We just call it the leadership summit. It's in October. And Andrea and Mark, since you guys are both on the governing board, I was hoping that maybe for a change, we could do like a half-day meeting that has both the TOC and the governing board in the room. I'd like to get that proposed somehow. I think it would be extreme.
What's your vision there in terms of what would happen in that large of a meeting? It's hard to do that large a meeting effectively. What would you see happening?
Yeah,
there?
no, I understand. And we actually don't have that big of a governing board, and we don't have that big of a TOC. So it's nothing like trying to do an open SSF meeting. I get those big meetings, but there are many things that we talk about that probably should have the governing board involved in. For example, the discussion we just had around the trademarks. Another discussion that we should be having is finding out where they're going to go in terms of project marketing. Are we going to continue to have a CDCon? And what can we do to improve the project visibility at CDCon? So I would guess that we could put together a pretty decent agenda that we, as the TOC and project representative, could have an open conversation with the governing board.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean, it
never
sounds-
ever talk to each other. We never do.
Hmm.
And out of the 20 people, I'm guessing, I don't think that at that meeting, we would want to do any kind of voting, because neither side may have quorum. But it's just a very good time to be together, put our heads together, talk about some of the issues that we're seeing on both sides. Like the CDCon, if they're going to do it again, and like the trademark issue. I mean, there's other things I could talk about, like this swag. We have issues with swag. Swag is right now is, I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know if there's budget for it. Anybody from India, if you want to get an Ortilia sticker, it's going to cost you $10 just to have it mailed. There's all kinds of those problems that do get in the way of project outreach, and the board has to make decisions on some of that stuff that they may not know is happening because they're not talking to the projects necessarily.
Thanks, Tracy. So as a next step for these, then do you want to draft a agenda proposal and we can discuss it either in the next meeting or just in a document, and then
Sure, absolutely. But I would, if before I do that, I'd be curious if they're interested at all in having it, and if they are, then I'm happy to put together an agenda for the day.
okay.
We did it in so no, we were in Sonoma. Napa. We did it in Napa, and it was really helpful. It was actually the point in time that we really got to talk about CD events, and the board decided to make CD events a priority. And we just had a room. I think they actually brought lunch in. It was actually a very productive meeting. But we did nothing at all as a group in Tahoe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure when the next governing board meeting is, but maybe we can try and bring it up before that.
And Mark, you're on the board still, right?
Still just added to the board.
Oh, well, congratulations. Well, maybe that's the person you can bring up to them. It won't be unusual for the people who were on the board before, that what we did in Napa, we could just repeat that.
Yeah, I'm hesitant there to be the one to bring it up because I'm not sure I envision the agenda. Is that something I could beg off on, have you do, Tracy, rather than as the voice? You've got the experience knowing how the meeting worked well last time. I fear if I start leading it, I'll take it in an entirely wrong direction or an unuseful direction, doing more harm than good initially.
I'll send you an email instead of coming up with a proper agenda, but I doubt that you would ever take anything in the wrong direction. So, but I'll send you an email.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thanks, Tracy and Mark. Just a quick thing, I missed it in the previous point. Mark, you said Jenkins relies on data, and is that data from LFX, or does that?
Yeah, we use LFX Insights to decide how community engagement is going. We look at their reports and see how our contributor count is going, etc. It's replaceable data, but we like that they're gathering it, and we use the fact that they're gathering it. We could gather it ourselves, but they're doing the work for us.
Absolutely. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, moving forward, project updates. So we have Andrew who joined us today. Thanks for that. I think it would be very interesting to get some introduction to the project Empowerers today, if that's.
Yes. Andy?
I don't unfortunately have a presentation ready because this is kind of a last minute asked to come join y'all. But I can share some slides that was shared at the actually I may need to come back to these slides. These slides are there not on public. Crap. Damn it. I recently gave a presentation at the Chorus Visionaries Day that highlighted the overview of Emporis, the benefits to the community, and what it provides really is the ability to understand all the different artifacts that are in a software catalog. Basically, it allows us to leverage right now OCI artifacts to be able to understand exactly where all of our dependencies are coming from, all of our assets. Tracy may have a link to the presentation that we gave previously as part of the Visionary Summit that really we kind of drilled down and talked in detail about what Emporis provides.
Hey, Andy, do you have the slides that you, Andy, do you have the slides from what you presented at the CDCon?
So once again, I think they're all on my Red Hat account that I can't share. That's the problem.
All right.
They're both on the Red Hat side.
Let me see if let me see if I have them.
Actually, you probably do because you added my Red Hat account. It might be this link. Let me see if I'll put it in the chat and see if this works. Let me know if that link works.
I get a request for access.
You can request
Tracy,
access.
you can get. I'm in that presentation.
Why don't you just go ahead and share it then and let Andy walk through it?
Yep. Give me 1 second.
All right. It was. We didn't really have that much. I skimmed through this during the meeting today to see if there was any content I could share. And we had like one slide. It was more just an overview slide.
It's thinking about it. There we go.
Yeah, I hate when Google has to cast the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple pages in, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So, as Tracy and Steve mentioned, we gave this at the CDCon presentation just to provide a introduction to Emporis to those who are in attendance. And really, we added this as a sub-project that we did announce at CDCon. And really what Emporis, you'll see the word UOR, that's Universal Object Reference. That was the initial name that started as a project within Red Hat that we've open source, got the community involved, and obviously eventually donated to the Ortelius organization to be able to continue to develop and to shepherd it forward. I'm excited to be able to get more contributions from more folks from just the Red Hat side of things. We have Kat Morgan, who is another core maintainer on the Emporis project now that's under Tortilius. She is with, goodness gracious, she was with Microsoft. She's no longer Microsoft. I think she's with Pulumi now. So she's over at Pulumi, doing some great things. So we're starting to get a lot of folks who are very interested in OCI content. If you're familiar with Pulumi, they are storing a lot of their assets in OCI artifacts within container registries. And what Emporis allows us to do is to be able to identify different parts of our supply chain and different parts of an artifact from all these different sources in OCI artifacts and OCI registries. So we provide this single API. That's the key. Is you might have content in 15 different repositories that you're consuming as part of your application or your entire stack. That's really why bringing this into Tortilius made the most sense, because you're doing the same thing too. Why can't we leverage the capabilities of Emporis to be able to provide that type of data? So really, it just provides that universal place. And so it allows us to streamline the management of software dependencies and the relationship. And most importantly, just provide a greater understanding and visibility to what your application is consuming. That's really what it is. It really helps on the visibility side of things. Now I can go to a CISO and say, hey, you can go ahead and use this API. This API will then be able to catalog everything for your application. So you can potentially say, oh, Log4j, where does that happen to be deployed? Well, okay, I can query this API and take it. Oh, it's in this project and one another. And we're using a lot of annotations that are found on OCI artifacts. If you're familiar with OCI artifacts, we're leveraging annotations extensively.
And one of the things, because I've been on the technical architecture meetings, and the folks from the Tortilius side and the Emporis side are coming together, and we're currently working on standing up a kick the tires environment around
a demo environment, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's being worked on. I think the Emporis, Alex was recommending that we start with Zot, which is another OCI project out of the CNCF as one of the building blocks that we can layer on top of the coding that the Emporis team has been doing. So that is in the progress. Some of the other things that are going on, we've been cross pollinating with Andy, what is it, the app delivery group in CNCF? I can't remember.
So there's a new group for the OCI artifacts that was created under tag app delivery in CNCF. And this has got a lot of players from a lot of different spaces. So it's really exciting to bring together folks from Microsoft, Docker, a couple of independent companies. It's really, really exciting to see all of these groups come together because everyone's interested in solving this problem.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the stars are starting to align, and we're going to be able to, take it to the next level here as we move into the fall.
And obviously, we're looking for people who are interested, contributing, and one that come to our weekly meeting. We have a weekly meeting on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully a good way to meet the community and learn more about what the project is doing. And as Steve mentioned, getting a lot of contributions from the Tortilius group already, and we expect there to be even more moving forward.
And the plan from the Tortilius side is to use Emporis as one of our storage facilities for all the metadata that we collect, because that's a nice thing, because it is slated in the capabilities there in the OCI spec to allow us to annotate and basically store anything we want. But the benefit is Emporis is going to allow us to do the search capabilities of what we stored. Other than just throw it out there and forget about it, we need a way to find it, and that's where the API comes into play. Any questions from any of the group?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. Thanks a lot for the presentation introduction. So just try to understand in my mind is Emporus then and kind of a library that can be used to implement the API, or is it actually an actual service that sits in front of an OCI registry or else?
So right now it's just a CLI. It's just a CLI right now. What we will be looking to do is put an API and basically do an extension through the extensions API in Docker distribution spec. You can add in additional extensions that allow us to provide more insight and extend the capabilities of an OCI artifact, OCI registry.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Andrea, it's both. So we will have both in place where it will sit in front. So if you think about like a Java build, you could use Emporus as the artifact registry. And in order for Maven to talk to Emporus, there is an intermediary in play that will kind of talk the Maven language and kind of translate over into the OCI world. Is that correct, Andrew? If I am getting that right?
Exactly. Yep.
Right. So is there a plan then to have like SDKs in various programming languages as well?
Yes, there is. Right now we're Go based, but we've also looked at integrations with Java, at least from being able to package your artifacts and being able to add content to Java, part of Maven. We did PyPy as well. All of our repositories have been migrated to the Ortelius org, so you can look in there and see everything that we started with Emporus dash. So you can just search Emporus in Ortelius and see all of our content.
Okay.
But it's going to take some time to, and this is just in general. Persia ran into this as well, where you have all these package managers and build systems like Maven that need to consume and pull and push artifacts, and getting those interfaces built will take a little bit of time.
And just one more note on this, we did, when we brought them in as a sub-project, Ortelius itself isn't an OCI registry. We always thought we could use an OCI registry on the back end. We just normally point to them. And the problem is that they're specific, that you can't, they're not universal. When with the way we structured Emporus coming under Ortelius, we always kept in mind the possibility that Emporus would grow big enough that it could become its own CDF project. So it's something to watch, because it may be we may ask for it to be elevated up to its own project status, because it has the potential to do so. We're not going to build anything that's forces it to be connected only to Ortelius. So, for example, Jenkins could connect to it.
Yeah, you anticipated my next question, Tracy. I was going to ask.
Good.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some integrations from all the different external sources. Yes.
Yeah, because also, I mean, one feature, for instance, that we are working on and on Techno side is to improve our data interfaces, and we have this concept of artifacts that we're going to try to flesh out. So I was trying to figure out whether that's something that, well, we could maybe have a look at Emperors if that's something that is applicable for that. But
that was our, when we first started talking about it, that was kind of our dream, is that, I'm always, I'm the queen of the CDFs. And having a central OCI registry seemed like a really logical step. so we don't have to have so many registries. So our dream was that tools like Tecton and Spinnaker would potentially integrate with it as well. So it'd be awesome to have somebody from Tecton taking a look at what the Emporus looks like. And if there's any of the open source projects that want to see a deeper dive, we will get that kind of that playground set up so we can have some folks hit on it and tell us what we need to do. Get some more input.
Provide the input. Yeah, let us know what works well, what doesn't work well, what sucks, what could be
Yes.
awesome. We love everything.
Yes, we want to know if our products suck. Well, let's tell us ahead of time.
Nice. Thanks again, Andrew. Is there any more questions, comments? All right. Well, thanks a lot for the introduction, for joining us today. Okay, we have 10 minutes left. Just a couple more things. So, upcoming presentation that we have scheduled for August, September. We have city events, Ortidius and JunkieNX. That's looking forward to those. And I just wanted to bring a quick update in terms of the OpenSSF Sterling toolchain updates. I think, Tracy, you've been in those meetings as well, right?
Yep. Starting up right 10 minutes.
Which is starting in 10 minutes.
Yes.
So, Andrea, you've joined those meetings as well. Do you think what do you think about them? They're kind of interesting in the security viewpoint of pipelines. Yes,
I think I'm quite happy that now I think it's in the strategy. And thanks, Tracy, for making that possible. Now the language that is being used is about, it's here in point 4, create a coalition of open source and closed source contributor to define a common security tooling vocabulary. So we're talking about creating common vocabulary, and I think that's hopefully moving more in the direction of standardization as opposed to picking specific tools. So the things that has been discussed now is capabilities. And as I understand it, the mission is to basically identify what are the capabilities that are required to make a secure by default software factory. And then those capabilities could be provided by different tools. So that's my understanding, and that's, I think, a good direction for this work to move forward.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in making sure your CI/CD capabilities are there, please join, because they have a tendency to look at it from a single viewpoint. Yeah, this is what we're working on here in the next 10 minutes.
All right. I wanted to ask quickly also about the project representatives. So because we have 9 projects and 4 seats, voting seats, so we have this project representative list of people that represent different projects. But right now, because we had elections, so the project representatives don't necessarily match the person on the TOC with the voting seat. So for Jenkins, the current project representative is still Oleg, and for Screwdriver is still Jitin. So I just wanted to ask whether we should update this. I can also reach out to Oleg and Jitin to see if they're still interested in having this project representative role. I think it makes sense for where we have the person in the TOC seat to the project representative is the same person. I think it doesn't make sense to have a separate person there.
I agree with that, that we make it this strongly recommend it would be the same person. But I would still reach out to like Oleg and Chit and to let them know that that's what we're trying to achieve.
Okay,
Just to be fair, you know, if they have a strong feeling that they should still be a project representative, then that's kind of more like on the project side to deal with.
and it doesn't help that we use the same name, project representative, for
Right.
both things, which is totally confusing. So maybe we need to change that. Okay, well, we only have 5 minutes left. I had a look at the roadmap before the meeting, and there's nothing exciting or new there that I think needs to be brought to the attention of this group right now. And also for the SIG updates, I think we are mainly in holiday mode right now. There are not many updates. So I think that's all I had planned for the agenda today, but is there anything else anyone want to bring up in the last 4 minutes?
Nope, looks good.
All right. Well, thanks again, Andrew, for joining us today and for the presenting, and welcome, Mark, again. And Melissa, you're not here anymore, but thanks again for stepping up to be our deputy chair, and see you next time.
All
Have a
right,
good rest
thanks
of the day.
everybody.
Thanks everyone for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.